Here's just a little more of what we were doing on page 5. There's no numbers here in number 12, so we know that our answer is going to be 1. We're not going to write the 1 because it's understood to be there. But I've kind of jumped the gun. I started talking about the numbers when I should have first been talking about the signs. So we've got to figure out what our sign is going to be. Now remember I told you that when you have an odd number of negatives, your answer is always going to be negative. Well, here you have an even number of negatives, so your answer is going to be positive. You're not going to write it. You're just going to leave it blank, because when you don't write the sign, you know that everybody knows that the answer is positive. And since there are no like terms, like there's no A's that you can multiply, or B's that you can multiply, or C's that you can multiply, or D's that you can multiply, they're all different. All you're going to do is write A, B, C, D, and that's your answer. Easy, huh? Okay, so first we're going to figure out what our sign is going to be. Now here we've got 1, 2 negatives, so that's an even number, so your answer is going to be positive. Whatever your answer is going to be positive. So don't worry about writing a negative sign, just leave it blank, because that's what we know it's going to be positive if it's blank. Okay, so now you're going to multiply numbers. 4 times 10 is 40. 40 times 25, that's a big number. I don't know, I'm going to have to use my calculator. 40 times 25 equals 1,000. And then that's it. So my answer is going to be 1,000. The last one was 1, so 1 times 1,000 is 1,000. So that's why I multiply that. So my answer is going to be 1,000. My number is going to be 1,000. Now we're going to do the variables, the letters. We're going to do all the A's first. Okay? So we're going to add the exponents. 3 plus 2 is 5, plus 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So we're going to write A to the 7th. Then we're going to do the other variable, the B. So we got B here, B here, B here. So we've got 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 4 is 7. So we got B to the 7th. That's our answer. All done. Easy, huh? Now here we've got 1, 2 negatives. That's an even number, so you know your answer is positive. So we got our sign already. Then since there's no numbers, you know your number is going to be 1. All right, so you're not going to write that either. You're not going to write the sign or the number. And so now we just look at our variables. All the A's first. So 3 plus 1 is 5. Oops. A to the 5th. And then we're going to look at the B's. 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 1 is 6. So B to the 6th power. Okay. Now they're changing it up a little bit. Instead of giving us numbers for exponents, they're giving us letters. It's the same thing, okay? Don't let that scare you. So we figure out our sign first, right? Our sign's positive. Then we look at the variable. Well, how many n's do we have? We're going to add them. How many n's do we have? We have 2 n's, so we're going to write A, 2n. Got it? Okay. Again, look at the signs. What's the signs? They're both positive, so our answer is positive. Then look at the numbers. What's 9 times 6? It's 54. Then you look at the variables. We got A's, right? So we're going to put an A. And then we look at the exponents. There's 2 m's, so you just write 2m. Okay. Same thing again. You look at the sign. 1, 2. There's 2 negatives, so it's an even number of negatives, so you know your answer is positive. Then you look at the numbers. 14 times 6. Well, 6 times 4 is 24, so I'm going to write a 4 and carry the 2. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 is 8. So we got 84. And then we look at the variables. Okay, now you notice there's something different here. All the ones that we've done up to now had the same letter. This one has 2 different letters. Since you don't know what the numbers are, you can't just write 2mn, because you have 1m and 1n. You don't know what the numbers are, so you can't add them. So the simplest thing you could do is this: m plus n. You don't know what the numbers are, so you can't add them. When the letters up here are the same, you know that, well, there's 3 m's or 4 m's, just like up here, right? 2 m's, 1 n, 2 n's, so you write 2n. But here you don't know. You only got 1 m and 1 n, so you just write m plus n. You can't add them because you don't know the numbers. So that's the simplest form of writing it. Okay, it's in its simplest form, just writing m plus n. Okay, Now here we've got a 1 negative, so that's an odd number, so you know your answer is negative, so we write negative. Then we do their numbers. 3 times 6 is 18. Then we do the letters a, n, and a to the n power. Well, since they're the same, you can write 2n. 2n. And here you got b to the n power and b to the n power. Since they're the same, you can write b to m. Okay? All right. Here they're all positive, so your answer is positive. You know that your variable is going to be a. And then you know what the 2 is, but you don't know what the n is, so you can't add those. So all you could do is write 2 plus n. If you knew what n was, then you would be able to add them, but since you don't know what it is, you can't add them, so this is the simplest, that's the best you can do, 2 plus n. Here we've got 1 negative, so that's an odd number, so you know your answer is negative. And then 13 times 4, well 4 times 3 is 12, and then 4 times 1 is 4, carry the 1 from the 12 is 52. Okay? Then here you got a to the first and a to the m. Well, you can't add those either, so you just write a m plus 1. Okay. Write the letter first always, then the number. Okay. That's the best you can do with the exponent because you don't know what m is, so you can't add it to 1. You can just write m plus 1. Okay. So here we only got 1 negative, so our answer is negative because 1 is an odd number. Then there's a 1 here, so 3 times 1 is 3. And then you do the variables, a and a. Well, there's a 1 here and a 3 here, so that's a to the 4th. And then you got n and 4. So the best you can do is b n plus 4. Okay? Because you don't know what n is, so you can't add it to 4. All right. Here we've got 1 negative, so that's an odd number, so you know your answer is going to be negative. Then you do your numbers. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 12 times 6 is, let's see, 12 times 6 is 12. 6 is 6, 72. 72. Then you do the variables. A-N, A 4th, A1. Okay, so A1, so you got 4, 5, 6. A and 6 exponents. And you don't know what the n is, so you're just going to write n plus the 6 exponents. You see? That's the best you can do because you don't know what n is, so you can't add it to 6. All you can write is n plus 6. And so since this one was 1 and this one was 1, so that makes a total of 2 plus 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. That's how you get this 6 here.